Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, Fabulites. Let's talk about Detroit and some of the events that are going, or one of the events that is going on or went on in connection with the acknowledgement, analysis of the rebellion of 1967. This piece was called "The People United Will Never Be Defeated: Declaration by the Community." So this was coordinated by a local woman who is a professor. And these are voices of some of the leaders of the Detroit community. This is their language. So I'm just going to say names and their statements. Declaration by the community. This piece was held at the Charles H. Wright Museum of African American History. If you saw that fire lighting ceremony that I posted up, or if that was just a part of it, this was going on up the hill near the Charles McGee piece. Is it Charles McGee? The Black and White United We Stand piece. Aurora, the people united will never be defeated. I stand for human rights and the right of every student and adult that is differently abled to be treated as human beings with dignity, respect, and equal access to education, jobs, public spaces, and timely public and private transportation with whatever accommodation is needed to enhance their quality of life. Stop systemic racism and oppressive laws. Miriam, we stand for full citizenship rights for all as promised in the 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendments, taking the exception of involuntary servitude out of the bogus 13th Amendment. We tell our stories of freedom struggle so the next generation can carry it on. Dr. Gloria Nebb House, we demand an end to the illegal imprisonment, brutalization, and murder of African Americans by policemen and other militarized forces of the American government. Antonio, we stand for truth in understanding the deep anti-blackness inherent in the bankruptcy and takeover of Detroit. Tawana, for the right to live, to love, to breathe, and to be free from all forms of violence and oppression. James Perkinson, we stand for the right to live and flourish of all communities under assault, including especially persons of color, animal and plant kin, and the waters that make all of us possible. Wardell Montgomery Jr., we stand for immigrants' rights. We should welcome immigrants without being unfair to American workers and pay everybody a living wage. John Sinclair, united we stand. We demand the end of the persecution and punitive closing of medical marijuana dispensaries in the city of Detroit and the encouragement of city-based growers, distributors, and retailers of medical marijuana in recognition of the wishes of the Detroit citizenry as expressly stated in the elections of 2005 and 2008. United we stand. Baxter Jones, we stand for our ancestors who stood for all. We're standing for others. We won't let them fall. We stand for protection, transformation, and inclusion. We stand against barriers that are just an illusion. We stand without permission, unapologetic and proud. We're understanding, overstanding, and innerstanding out loud. Hong Gui Suk, I stand for immigrants and especially the women who have made this country their home, that we can be respected, safe, and seen as fully human, deserving of all rights. I stand for the redistribution of resources so that everyone has access to healing backwards and forwards through the generations, so that we can move together, including all abilities to heal ourselves and our communities. Bill Wiley Kellerman, we stand united in the spirit of this and every watershed demanding the right to safe, affordable water for all. Elena Harada, we stand for the end of all vestiges of emergency management of Detroit and the end of the so-called consent agreement, remove the unelected Financial Review Commission, and for fair and open elections. Owusu Millard read a poem. Ivy read a poem. Millard said, water can work wonders. It did for me. Ivy said, listen to your body, not the advertisers. Carl Schachter, that we gather strength and forces for an emancipated people the whole world over, a human race that is mutually flourishing, freely associating, a human race in which from each and all according to their abilities, to each and all according to their needs, can become a reality, a human race that cares for its habitat, planet Earth. Mike Shane, together we struggle for a world without war where every person has full access to quality housing, food, water, healthcare, jobs, and schools, where the environment is no longer abused, and where we all live in harmony, regardless of race, gender, sexual orientation, and national origin, and where all those isms that rulers use to divide us are defeated for good. Monica Lewis Patrick, I stand for the human right to access clean, safe, and affordable water and sanitation as a life-sustaining source, and the ability of all mankind to deputize themselves and resist any powers on earth that would deny this right. Christine Griffin, at this present time in our lives, we must continue to stand up for justice. It's the same game, but a different game. Bill Meyer, I, along with millions of people in the world, stand for the elimination of the cruel and outdated system of capitalism and imperialist wars of mass destruction that have fueled and perpetuated its interminable existence. It has caused the deaths of millions of people, the wanton destruction of lands and resources, and frustrated the hopes of activists and people around the world searching for a humane and constructive alternative. Capitalism feeds off hatred and racism, putting profits before the needs of people, dividing and conquering the rich varieties of all mankind. We need nothing more than to live together in peace to solve the problems of the world. Barbara Charles and Sandra Simmons of Hush House, be brave, be strong, be of good courage, and let all that you do be for God and the uplift of our people. Woo! Look, that was much shorter than I thought it was going to be. May all beings share in my love, peace, and happiness. May all beings feel my love, peace, and happiness, whether they're human or non-human, near to me or far from me, two-legged, four-legged, no-legged. May we all be increasingly aware of the love, peace, and happiness that fills and surrounds us. And may we seek and connect with the good and the God. It's all good. It's all good. Thank you. This again was reading of some of the declaration by the community during the July 23rd, 2017, The People United Will Never Be Defeated event at the Charles H. Wright Museum of African American History in Detroit. Peace. Be you. Be fabulous. Be fabulous you. Comment, like, subscribe. What is your declaration? What do you declare? What are you affirming? Peace.